ultimate answer for anti-Semitism is to teach, to expose young people to the Jewish community so that they understand our common humanity.
Welcome back to GMA3. That was testimony from New York City Schools Chancellor David Banks at this week's anti-Semitism hearing on Capitol Hill.
House lawmakers pressed some of the nation's leading educators on what they are doing to combat acts of religious bias at elementary schools and high schools. And joining us now is Chancellor David Banks. It is good to see you, and thanks a lot for being on.
Good to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
So that 2-hour hearing got a little heated when you were trying to get your points across. How do you think your message was received?
I think the message was received very powerfully across the nation. We've gotten a lot of feedback from folks who said, listen, thank God somebody finally pushed back. Anti-Semitism is just a scourge in our schools and in our nation, and it can't stand. And in New York City, we're doing something about it. But I think what was happening at those hearings, that too many of our legislators were really pushing for gotcha moments. And what I tried to let them know was this is a serious issue. It has to be approached with serious leadership, and that's what we're trying to do.
You run the nation's largest school district, and we saw yesterday. What's your response to some of those claims from congressmen who say your leadership has allowed this anti-Semitism to fester?
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. Listen, New York City is the largest school system in the nation by far. We have over 1 million students and staff, and we've had a handful of incidents. But this is certainly not an anti-Semitic school system at all. And wherever we see these issues that rear their head, we respond. That's what I said to Congress. We responded. But ultimately, if you really want to address anti-Semitism, you have to teach. You have to educate. It's one of the reasons why I walk around with books like The Diary of Anne Frank and Elie Wiesel's Night. These are the kinds of books that all young people need to see if they want to learn about what anti-Semitism really looks like, and they have to learn about the heritage of the Jewish people so you don't see them as the other.
And what more are you doing to prevent anti-Semitic incidents, especially in NYC schools?
Yeah, well, we continue to teach. First of all, when we do see it happen, we have to deal with it. There have to be real consequences, and we don't mess around with that. But ultimately, you have to raise the consciousness of the mind. You have to teach. We're getting ready to roll out a brand new curriculum that talks about not just anti-Semitism, but the entire history of the Jewish people. And we're doing it also to deal with Islamophobia. Folks have to understand the greatness of the Muslim community and the Arabic community and what they've contributed to the world. The more that young people learn about who we are, that's how you ultimately deal with anti-Semitism and any other form of hate.
We've seen those protests all across the country on college campuses. It's such a contentious time right now. Yeah. Both sides feeling very passionately about whatever it is they believe. How do you ensure both a student right to free speech, but also safety?
Yeah, listen, I think young people are right to raise their voices. Many of them are deeply concerned about how this war is playing out in Gaza and the way folks are being treated. And I think they have a right to their feelings and a right to protest. But whenever that voice transfers itself into being anti-Semitic or to being Islamophobic, that's where we part ways. We've got to figure out ways to come together and not turn on each other, but learn more about each other so we can help to support each other in our common humanity.
New York City Schools Chancellor David Banks, always good to see you. And
good
thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, of course.